thinking, like, they get on the couch expecting, like, hey, y'all, this is going to be my big break. They're like, damn, this shit comfortable as a motherfucker.
You know, you do kind of lure me in here. You're like, hey, take a seat on my couch real quick. And I'm, yeah, I'll take a seat. And you're like, hey. Isn't that, like, what's your name? I'm like, oh, yeah, my name's Martin. You're like, oh, yeah, how long have you been in the business? I'm like, you know, I've just been doing this podcast for about 2 years, maybe 3. Going on 3.
Okay.
You're like, oh, yeah, you know, you got a lot of experience. You seem real comfortable. And I'm like, yeah, I am comfortable. And you're like, take your pants off. And I'm like, whoa, how did we get here? How did we get to that point? And you're like, do you not know what kind of couch this is? And I was just like, I mean, is it pleather?
You should comfortable motherfucker. Welcome to the Counseling Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm your boy Javane.
This your boy Martin.
And what a way to start. Like, bro, like, how did that even become to be? Like, it just, I guess it's a meme from the Hollywood industry. Like, that's how casting couches work. Like,
I think what it is.
As a budding 16-year-old man.
16?
Yes.
Okay.
16-year-old.
Uh-huh.
Don't come after me, Pornhub. Y'all illegal in Virginia.
So we're not on the Wi-Fi, so we're good.
Oh, okay. Y'all can't track me.
Using all my data.
Y'all can't track me like Netflix can track us. But as a budding 60-year-old male, I was like, what is a casting couch? Immediately I thought, I was like, okay, this is just in the industry of pornography. I didn't think it was like a meme for Hollywood. And I was like, I didn't even know what casting was. I was like, casting the fish?
Well, we found out later that Dan Schneider of Nickelodeon actually, he started the casting couch. I don't know if you knew this, but if you ask Ariana Grande and what's homegirl's name?
Amanda
Bynes.
Mm-hmm.
Jeanette McCurdy. What other girls who came up that time? You know what I'm talking about. All that girl.
All that shit. All that girls.
All them girls. All the girls that came up in that time. You know, it was very unfortunate, that story that came out about Dan Schneider. And, you know, he went on live. He went on live and he talked about it. And it couldn't be me. Like, I don't understand why. I don't know. He should have just stayed quiet. Like, nobody, like, I know people outed him.
Yeah.
And he wanted to kind of defend himself, but.
Look, man, I feel like the most guilty people have to say something. Like, if you're guilty, you always got to defend yourself. If you're not guilty.
Well, I just thought about, have you heard anything about Diddy?
Yes, bro. I heard it like today.
You see, my man freaking left his mansion. He flew out the country right after the raid. They raided his house for not child trafficking, just sex trafficking.
Sex trafficking.
Correct.
Alleged
sex trafficking. And you look guilty if you leave the country right after. He's like, yo, you know what? I need a vacation. I need a vacation after all this sex trafficking. I mean, after all this searching of my home. Like, I mean,
look, I feel like
you might as well just say I did it.
Look. Michael Vick went on vacation. He went on vacation. He was like, bro, this is stressful. It was FBI raid. Trump went on vacation. Everybody going on vacation. What's his name? That killed himself in prison. What's his name? Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein, yeah.
Went on vacation. Bro, it's a
You've been on too many vacations, if you ask me. I mean, you ever been to that island? I'm asking. I'm not trying to implicate you.
not online, bro. I got you on after that.
Okay. Let's talk.
But today, Mother Day, I don't know. Maybe that'd be too heavy for y'all. But let us know in the comments if y'all want us to hear our thoughts on like the Nickelodeon documentary on what is it all that was it? Quiet on Set. Oh, you saw that one? It's like 2 of them. One on Hulu as well.
Oh, I haven't seen any of them. I just heard about it.
Okay, yeah.
I get on my news through Twitter.
All right, well, look, man. I do the footwork and watch these 45-minute episodes. Damn. I know, bro. I could be TikToking. Honestly, I get in TikTok in 2 minutes, but that shit about to be canceled by the U.S. government. Anyways, today
I get something right. We're keeping the guns. We're getting rid of TikTok. Anyway,
bro,
we're getting too political. Anyway, we're going to do a little light episodes today for y'all. I just finished watching Married at First Sight this season. I think it's like 17 or something crazy.
Something ridiculous.
But it was the season where they were in San Diego, and this in our episode, we're going to do a recap of all the couples, kind of talk through some of the relationship problems that they had leading up to whether they said yes at the altar. No, well, everyone said yes at the altar, but if they said no after the 8 weeks.
What is it, a recommitment ceremony or something like that? Or
yeah, it's like the decision day.
Decision day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if y'all haven't seen 90 Day, y'all know how we feel about 90 Day Fiancé. We love that shit.
Great show.
It's fucking messy, but it's a lot of messages. AKA, run, Gino, run.
Honestly, I think Gino's the problem, but
I mean,
we'll say that for another episode because next week we're going to have a bracket where we're going to rank all the crazy couples from all these crazy dating shows. But 90 Day Fiancé, Love is Blind, Married at First Sight.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to, in honor of March Madness, bracket style, we're going to pit each team against each other. And at the end of the episode, we're going to have a national championship for the most sloppiest couple, the worst couple, toxic,
worst. Who you love to hate, who you hate, you glad you're not. And it makes you want you, when you look at your partner, if you got a partner, you're like, damn, I'm glad I'm stuck with your ass and not them. So, but
it's a lot worse out here.
It's a lot worse out here, and your boy's struggling out. But today, like we said, we're gonna go over 90 Day Fiancé, not 90 Day, Married at First Sight, and how Married at First Sight works. If y'all haven't seen it or understand it, literally, these people sign up, and they go through their like the experts or whatever, like psychologists, therapists, sex therapists, whatever. They do all this data curation and matchmake these people, and the first time they see this person, they have to marry them on site. So that's how the whole thing is. And during the time, you got 8 weeks?
Yeah, 8 weeks to do a trial marriage. And if you feel like you want to continue with your marriage, on decision day, you say, yes, I want to proceed. If you choose not to proceed, then you annul the marriage and it's over. I think is it annul or is it a divorce? I feel like it's an annulment.
I think it's annulment.
Yeah.
Like, so
it's like it didn't happen.
So Stasha, you don't got to worry about my man. All right.
Jesus.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. So this week we're going to be talking about 5 couples. Kristen and Mitch.
The bitch.
Kristen and Mitch. Lindy and Miguel. Thank you.
I got you.
Justin and Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan and Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And oh shit, who's the last one?
You got this.
I'm dying. I'm floundering.
Nate and Stasha.
Stasha and Nate.
Yeah.
I remember Nate because he told the stripper to get on her knees.
He also made a pass at Justin.
Allegedly. You know what? Let's.
I don't know. When Justin made that comment, in my mind, I was like, I can see it. I can see it.
But my man could be batting for both. But look, I mean, Stasha's stressing him out. His boy Justin there, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he there to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, he said, man, you looking good. I don't know what he talking about. My man looked like melted ice cream when he took off his shirt. Justin. But
Jesus.
All the hate that I have, you know, it just goes to show, you know, sometimes I'm just a hater. I'm not even gonna try to spit.
You are clearly a hater.
My man going on national TV saying my man he's slinging, and then his wife be like, but my man ain't shitting the bed. All right, you know what? Let's go. Let's start off. I want to start. I ain't gonna go with Justin. I ain't gonna go there. Let's start with Nate and Stasha.
Okay.
Nate and Stasha. All right, I ain't gonna give y'all the whole recap. We're just gonna get our feelings of how they work as a couple. So that's how we're gonna. If y'all want to see it, y'all can look online, like highlights, or even watch the show if y'all want. But we're gonna go over there. Nate and Stasha. What do you think of that relationship?
You know, right off the bat, I thought that they were going to be the most successful relationship. They're both light skinned. I feel like that's important to talk about. They had similar backgrounds because they both came from like biracial families.
Okay.
So they had that experience of not feeling like they can fit in. I think that Nate had a background. He had a military dad. Yeah. I think they traveled a lot. And I think it's almost similar with Stasha, or she just grew up.
I think she moved a lot. I don't think they were military. I think they just moved a lot. I think her dad was in business or something like that.
Got you. Fair. Did we even see her dad?
No, we never met her dad. We never met Nate's mom either. We just
saw. So we know Nate's mom right away.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I don't know about her dad. But maybe he was just like, I ain't going to that show. I'm going to go pick up these milk and some cigarettes.
I mean, another thing, we just need a counter for every cigarette reference.
But no, so with that relationship, they started off really strong. They had good connection in the beginning. It got really physical really quickly with them.
Yeah.
Nate had this demeanor of, this playboy, but he was also about the process. He was not really there to make friends. It was like, hey, I'm here with my wife. We're going to figure this out. And Stasha was kind of similar in that regard, but I think she fell head over heels way faster than Nate. I think that Nate's more practical, and she's more like, this has to happen right now. Like, I need love right now. I need everything in this moment. If it's not in this moment, you're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think she was very much about like, it's funny because you see two sides of Stasha. One side, well, other than the fact they both got real physical real fast, once the honeymoon phase kind of like lifted, she was like, oh, you ain't, I mean, especially like if you get physical, she was like already like, after they came back from the honeymoon, probably a week or two later, she was already like in her mind, like, I'm in love, I'm ready for this, whatever. And my man taking their time. So it's funny seeing that side of like, I'm wanting this Cinderella or Disney-like story to them being all about her business. And when reality hit, it's like, it's that weird thing. Because Nate is living in the reality the whole time.
Right.
She's living she's not living in reality, but reality crops up. So she wants this whole, why don't you tell me you love me? Why you ain't prepared? But then when they get to the real world, it's like, it's weird. Like, this is like a conflicting, right? Like,
yeah, so initially when they're at the honeymoon, I think there was a scene where they were both in the hot tub or the pool. And she was like, where are you on like love level? And he was just like, she's like, from 0 to 100, where are you at? And he was like, I'm at like a 40. And she was like, oh, damn. He was like, 40 ain't bad. That's like 4 out of 10. She's like, yeah, I can do math.
Oh.
He was like, well, what would you put for me? She was like, I was going to say it like an 8. He was like, 8? Damn. Like, damn, already? Like, at that point, he knew he had the power.
Yeah.
But I don't think she liked that he had the power. So she wanted him to catch up to where she was in his feelings. And, with him having trust issues from his mom leaving him growing up, it's hard for him to love. It's hard for him to show that he cares. And he wants to be sure in his feelings and his emotions. She came to the experiment wanting to open herself up and tie with somebody, lay it all on the table and like, hey, this is who I am, accept me or not. And he wasn't doing the same thing. So she felt like she was just exposing herself entirely. And that's hard when you're in a relationship because, not to, I'll stay on topic, but it's hard when you're in a relationship and one person's like, hey, this is everything going on. This is my upbringing. This is my childhood trauma. This is what I worked on. Because she was all about therapy. She did all the inner child work, healing. Well, I think she still needs more work. We'll talk about that later. But, she did all this work. And he was like, oh, I've never done therapy. I'm open to it, but I've never done it. So she's looking at him like, you don't even know what you're doing. I'm better than you.
And then the heel turn. When the emotions started opening up, it was honestly the whole time between them was like a power battle, like a struggle for power. Like if one person slipped up, like you said, when he was like, oh yeah, I'll give you like 4 out of 10. He immediately knew she had the power. When he was like, when he started opening up and saying like, oh, I got daddy issues, I got mommy issues, like I can't trust nobody, and blah blah blah. I haven't done therapy. I'm open to it. She had the power, and then the money thing and stuff. It was just like
the post-nut happened.
And the post-nut. Go ahead, speak on the post-nut. Bro.
Yeah, so they got a post-nut because she's doing real estate, so she's making good money. The boy's a day trader, so he's successful in his own way. But I think that, so there's clear lines of finances. I think they decided to get a post-nut, and if they stuck together for 5 years, all the money would merge. And it's like it's a safety net for 2 business owners in their own right. So I get it in that sense, but it doesn't breed trust.
Right.
It's like you're planning for failure.
Right, and they already had trust issues of that. But, overall, I would say if we had to do a power ranking right now, or like a placement for them, I would put them,
I mean, they're the first and last because they're the first couple we're talking about.
They are the first couple, so they're the first and last. So look, they make they're a good baseline.
They're a solid baseline.
They're a solid baseline.
I mean, since we've seen it, again, spoilers. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
If y'all haven't seen it, why are y'all watching and listening to it? I mean, if you down for spoilers, go for it. But if you want to see it, please pause the pod, pause the video, watch the episodes, come back, and wrap with us about it.
I was going to say wrap it up, but I was just like, hey, yo, do what you want on the casting couch. But no, like, you can see towards the end, like, they were still trying to work on their marriage. They were still bickering. They had a lot of unresolved issues. And it came to light in those reunion episodes where they were like, yo, you can't take criticism. And he's like, I'm trying. You're not, like, everything I do is not good enough for you. And it's just like a constant, like an immovable force?
Yeah.
An immovable force, or immovable object and an unstoppable force hitting each
other.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, it's like, there's no give. And so, I don't know if they're still married to this day.
We got to do it. Like, we'll have Jamie or someone look it up for you.
Yeah, we'll check that out and put it in the show notes.
We'll pull it up on air at the end. We'll do a...
Yeah, we'll do it. We can do that. We can see that now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So right now, they have the baseline. I think the next couple logically to talk about is Miguel and Lindy.
Okay.
Because Miguel and Lindy, they were another ones who kind of started off really strong. You were like, yo, they are perfect. Like, they are meant for each other. Like, the showrunner did a perfect matchmaking.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That whole time, first 2 episodes, didn't even have to worry about them at all, bro. Like, she came from a home where it was, like, repressed and, like, she couldn't do all this fun stuff and he wanted someone to, I don't even know what he wanted. You know what? He wanted a cheerleader. He wanted someone to be his hype man. Am I wrong? Like,
I mean, not entirely. I mean, I think that he is very practical, kind of in the same scenario as like Stasha. Like, he was very practical, like calculated and measured. He was like, all right, I don't want to get too high. I just want to go through this experience and understand that we have 8 weeks to figure things out.
Right.
And she's just like, no, like, this is it. This is everything. You are my person. And she just kept on speaking that into him. And every time that he would be like, well, you know, this is a trial marriage. Like, it would destroy her.
I would say I like how Lindy is, I don't want to say like, but I would say like, different from Stasha. It's interesting, that's a better word. It's interesting how they differ, but they're the same. Both Stasha and Lindy were all in, but she didn't need his reassurance. Like, she knew she was all in. All she wanted him to do was stop downplaying it. And he kept, every time she would just say, like, yo, I mean, she wouldn't even ask him. She doesn't even want to ask him to return. She just didn't want him to, like, backhand her every time.
Right.
She was like, oh, I'm feeling you. I'm so happy for this, blah, blah, blah. He was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Remember, we're just only strangers. We still got 4 weeks left before I'm really your husband.
Also, why would I put you on my insurance? You're not even taking my last name.
Oh, my God.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like when you get married, do you want your wife to take your last name? Is it a deal breaker?
I wouldn't say, all right. I'm like, look, man, it's 2024, bro.
It's 2024. These women need to change their name. Wait, what?
I mean, look, man, as Andrew Tate said.
Oh, my God, my idol.
I mean, immediately canceled.
As Kevin Samuelson. As Joe Rogan.
As Donald Trump said. How bad you want to dig this hole, bro? As Satan himself. Honestly, bro, like, all right, I don't mind it, but it's like it's going to be some like different things that we both have to figure out, like, but when it comes to like what Miguel did, I'm like, that's the bare, bro. Like, give her insurance, bro. Like, what is? I mean, look, if you want to be extra, right? You can be like, I can put you on my insurance, but you got to cover half. If you want to be like, all right.
Well, actually, they garnish my wages, so like, I need you to pay your half. I feel like that's fair. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to ask of your significant other. You're like, hey, you got to pay half of this. Like, Not even significant other because you're married.
You're married now. Yeah, you're married. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine.
Right.
Well, unless you're Stasha. But their business is different. I don't know what the fuck my man. What the fuck was Miguel doing? He's a weightlifter, dungeon master by trade.
I think that he does Dungeons and Dragons for a living. I have no idea.
Hey yo, shout out to people that are dungeon masters by trade. Y'all the real goats. Hey yo, fuck the fishermen. I'm on one today. I'm sorry. Sorry.
But yeah, no, I think that them as a couple, they worked really well. They had their frictions. They had it was like a tit for tat thing. Like, hey, I can't give you this until you give me that. And she felt the same way, but in a different way. But I think that the way that she looked at it, she was like, he's being ridiculous, but I'm not changing my last name because I want to be an LOA forever. Like, I have nothing wrong with this. And he's like, I want you to be a insert last name because if I say something I'm wrong, it's going to be racist.
Right. Okay. There you go.
But he's like, I don't mind being an LOA forever. Like, I don't necessarily need
What is
that.
an LOA?
I think that's her last name. It's just LOA.
Oh, LOA. Okay.
I remember LOA for some reason. I don't remember Miguel's last name.
I have no idea what Miguel's last name is.
Sanchez? Sorry.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, that's wrong.
It's Rick Sanchez. Shout out to Rick and Morty.
I thought it was Sanchez. I didn't want to be wrong. So we're going to get into this.
It's Rick Latino? You know, I didn't figure this out. But I think they were a strong couple. I do think in the end, especially towards the
Well, hold up. Do you remember the time when they went on that retreat with all the rest of the couples, and you know he had given her shit because she wanted him to take a picture.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't want to take a picture. So if they were in the same scenario again, she can read his body language. He was like, not about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then she asked one of the producers to take a picture, and then he got mad that he asked producers, like, I'm right here. Why didn't you ask me to take a picture? And she eloquently explained, like, hey, I didn't know what your energy was like, so I didn't want to bother you with it. And he was like, that's fucked up. And he was just threw a fit.
Bro, I gotta give props to Lindy. Like she grew on me throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
Where when I was in the beginning, I was like, oh, okay, she's just this like, excuse my French, ditzy like girl, whatever. Like no care in the world, whatever. Like she's literally what Disney envisions of a Disney princess, right? And then as the time went on, I saw that she was so like emotionally mature-ish. At least she knew how to explain herself. Because like you said, there was multiple times where she would say like, I didn't know where your energy is, because they had these conversations over and over again where she would want to be playful. He ain't about it. My man on zero, right? Like my man's energy is like, I can't meet you there.
Right.
So she took it upon herself this time to be like, oh, okay, well, I saw you weren't feeling it.
She's learning.
Yeah.
Like, she's learning in the relationship. She's trying to make peace with the situation. She's like, okay, I know this bothers you. I'm trying to read your signs. Like, we're still figuring each other out.
Right.
But, like, you mentioned that if you're not in the mood, you don't want to take a picture. That shouldn't press you, so ask somebody else. Like, the way that she expressed herself, like, I feel like she's not in the wrong.
Yeah, no.
He got upset. He has the right to be upset. But the way that he handled it wasn't appropriate. And it blew into this whole thing where she was just like, well, he's like, well, we're just having a little argument. Like, you're yelling at me. She's like, no, I'm not yelling. Like, you don't even want to see the real anger that I have. You don't want to see me be crazy. This isn't crazy. I've been like,
I remember that.
She's like, I've been like toning it down, but I can't be my true, genuine self around you because I don't think you can handle it.
Oh.
And I'm like, bro, she's crazy.
Run.
Like, literally, I was like, you don't want to poke this bear too long because I think eventually she's going to go crazy. And you saw an outburst of emotion. She's a very emotional person.
Right.
And, you know, they got through it. I mean, at the end, you know, they were the most successful couple.
They were the most successful couple, at least until we find out at the end of this episode. So, as we talk about most successful, let's get into now we're getting to the murky ones, man. We're getting into the deep. Let's talk about, all right, you know what? We're going to leave the best for last. Let's talk about Mitch and Kristen.
Mitch the bitch.
Mitch the bitch.
Ooh, Mitch.
Destined to fail once he saw her come down the aisle. My man went about it. Look, I get you honestly, I get it. Like, if you're not, it's kind of like what Shake said in Love is Blind. Love is blurry, right?
Yeah.
Love is blurry. If you don't find this person attractive, cool, whatever. But as we talked about off air, we were all talking about like the couples and stuff like that. We were like, yo, Kristen, she grew on us personality wise, fun and stuff like that. It's like, do you think Mitch tried to meet her halfway or automatically checked out? Which is fine if you don't find the person that you're with attractive.
I think he was just playing part of the experiment, even though he didn't know how to say, hey, I'm with this, I want to stop. He was just like, maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. He's like, I'm not all the way out, but he definitely manipulated her in a sense. Like, I don't think he ever was going to be like, you're my person, this is going to work out, because the attraction wasn't there. Then he was like, you know what, I'm a guy, I got to get mine, so I'm going to say and do what I need just to get mine. And, you know, she was looking at the marriage through, like, these rose-tinted glasses. She was like, you know, it didn't start off well, but I still, if there's, like, an ounce of you that cares, like, I'm going to say, yes, I want to continue to be married to you. And he was just like, in other words, I'm not really into this, but I like you a little bit. And their personalities are so different. Like, you know, he's all about protecting the environment, helping the less fortunate. One of the arguments that comes to mind was she wanted to be able to flip houses. Yeah. And he was just like, well, I just feel like big businesses destroy opportunities for underprivileged people to get houses, and I wouldn't want to support that. And I was just like, brother. All right, Mitch, you've been itched now, because I agree. That's true. But also, there has to be some kind of compromise in a relationship. Like, maybe you don't have to flip a whole bunch of houses. You can flip like one or two.
Yeah, I think he has such a hard line in his beliefs, and that's a whole other podcast. I can get like a lot of these situations with Mitch and Kristen, like how important is attraction when it comes like in a marriage or a relationship, like because people will say beauty fades, right? Also, like
doesn't fade, never happened.
All right, well.
In Mitch's eyes.
And also, like, how hard can your line be for your beliefs, right? Like I like the environment. I want to make sure that I think flipping houses up. But, however, if my partner wants to do real estate, flip houses and stuff, where does compromise begin and your morals bend? Because he has very strong. My man, like, you see, my man lives like basically in a beach house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's funny. I see this man in a beach house, in his house, environmentalist, shit ton of stuff in his house. I was like, what the fuck? Aren't you supposed to be a minimalist?
Well, you can recycle it all, right? Right. It's all recyclable and reusable.
That's what hoarders call.
Yeah, no, he's a hoarder in disguise. He's definitely trying to fool himself. But I guess it goes into that conversation of, can a person change after a certain age? Because they say that, you know, once you're cerebellum fully developed, once you get into your late 30s, early 40s, like, you're kind of steadfast and hard in your ways. And he's 40. I think he was 41, 42.
Yeah, it's 42. And she was, what, in her early 30s?
Yeah, I think she was like 30. I remember seeing her age, and I was like, man, she was older than that. I was like, she's my age? That's crazy.
Man, that's wild.
Damn, she aged like spoiled milk.
Oh no.
Damn.
Well, man,
she aged like a Gen Zer.
Oh, God.
But, he's stuck in his ways, and he was like, I think he came into the experiment not really wanting to be married. I don't think that he is there looking for marriage. He was just like, I think I want this. And then he went through it. He was just like, I don't want this. I don't want to have to change who I am. I don't want to have to compromise. I want somebody who can match me exactly, tit for tat, exactly what I'm about, and be that person. And I think a lot of people in relationships are trying to date want that. Like, I want someone who is exactly this way.
Or check all these
boxes. And, you know, that person is out there, but if that's what you're looking for, like, you're going to be waiting. Yeah, eventually you got to make compromises, and nobody wants to compromise.
No one wants to compromise.
Everybody wants what they want.
But also, there's no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as perfection, right?
Yeah.
Like you can say, oh, I want this X. However, like, what if it will never come? I mean, yeah, you can live your life like that, but I don't know, man. I feel like that within life, because life, we are so set in our ways of what we want. We're just not okay with the fact that okay, well, shit changed, shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I want to be with it, because what if like his surfer girl is like, oh yeah, now I want to work at Google or Meta.
It sounds like Barney Stinson.
Right.
He was like a hippie, and then he like went into Global National GMB.
Right, GMB. Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen, but are you going to be able to flow with that? Like, shit can change. Like, maybe your partner, beauty fades, like, because she got sick, or, whatever. Are you going to be there? Or you'll be like, you ain't like that. Or maybe they just now they love soda.
Or maybe a partner is a crybaby, which brings us to Justin.
There we go.
Let's talk about him.
All right, look.
Let's talk about the man who is so emotional and cries over everything. It's like, I just really care about my friends, and like, I wanted you to be really happy that I was getting married, and I just wanted to protect Ben, and bro, grow up.
All right, look.
I have nothing against being an emotional person as a man. Like, I think it's healthy, and I think it's good to cry every once in a while. But every day?
Honestly, I think he took that and he used that as a crutch. Like, maybe he is overly emotional, right? But I feel like, just like anyone, as we would say, like, anyone, man, woman, child, whatever, like, that are overly emotional, you'll be like, why? Like, why? Like, everyone has emotions. I get that. But I feel like it was too much, bro. It was like, oh, well, whatever. Like, we can be sensitive nowadays. Yeah, I can be sensitive too. But I feel like you're leveraging that to get what you want. If you're not, it's like you're basically being a child again.
Yeah. And he didn't know how to regulate his emotions.
That's
and
it.
You can see that during the whole relationship with Alexis. It was just her trying to say, hey, baby, it's okay. You don't have to be upset about this. Or, hey, like, it's okay to feel the way you feel, but, like, keep it together. Like, but it wasn't just, like, sad and crying. It was also, like his anger. Like, he couldn't just put it aside, like, hey, let's talk about this at a different time. He has to show his emotions at all times. He can't just table, like, you know what? I'm upset. We'll talk about it later. It's not a big deal. We'll revisit it. Like, he doesn't have that.
Right.
Well, if she says that, he can't handle it. If he says that, he's going to be, like, passive-aggressive to you the entire night.
It's like, yeah, bro, you don't have to cry every time Mufasa dies. But
that is a sad scene.
It is a sad scene.
Like, if he cried to that, I'd be like, mad props.
Mad props.
I'm pretty sure he cries when he drinks a Dale. And I'm like, I can't rock with that, bro.
I just can't see him, because like you said, I think it's not even about the sadness, like him being crying over the fact that whatever random things happen to him. But it's more about, like you said, the emotional regulation.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't regulate your emotion, and you need to leverage, because like when people say like they flip it, normally it's like anger, right? Like if the man is angry, they need to leverage that. But my man is both angry and sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh well, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. That's just who I am. No, bro. Like if someone else said that, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You need to like get that shit together. And that's why we talk about like therapy and reading books and like helping yourself emotionally regulate, because that's what it is to be an adult. Yes, Martin.
PSA. If your argument is that's just who I am, I don't want to deal with you. Because you're basically saying I can act this way, I don't have to work on myself, I don't have to be better because you need to accept me for who I am, and if it makes everyone else uncomfortable, it doesn't matter. Like, you're a child. I mean, you're a child. I mean, I can't even think of a scenario where I was just like, this is just the way I am, and I wasn't being dramatic.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. I used that shit all the time. I mean, I remember back when we were just like, before the podcast, I'd been like, what was it, 10 years ago, where we eating pieces of shit, bro. That was the most depressed, emotionally unstable version of myself. And when people come at me, they're like, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Javane, why are you an asshole? Well, that's just me. You can either take it or leave it. You can deal with it. But even then, I didn't know. Like, me using my emotions and how I treat other people and saying, that's just who I am, that's just a cop-out. That's just me. I didn't want to look into myself and figure my shit out.
I think that there's always a why behind a lot of that. Like, a lot of people like Martin's an asshole. They tell you Martin's an asshole, why you stuff like that.
No.
And, like, there's a reason behind the way that I am. It's just because I don't like you. Or I don't think I necessarily test people, but I also am not willing to trust you on the first impression because everyone tries to get their best impression, and I'm just like, I want to see if you have lasting power. So I guess it is a test, and I'm going to therapy in my head right now about how I approach situations. But I don't try to be that person. I just am. It's just the way I am. You know what? Full 180. You know what? I'm right. You know what? I take everything back I said. It's just the way that I am is a valid excuse.
No, it's not a valid excuse. You can't give this man it. But regardless, how did they handle the relationship? Because I feel like with Justin and Alexis, it was a lot of like, all right.
It was lust.
It was lust. It was a lust before sex even happened. And then we saw what happened once they had sex.
Which time? Which time were we calling sex? Which on the honeymoon they had sex.
They had sex on the honeymoon. Yes. It was that. Which time did he cry after sex? Because she put my man on blast immediately after that.
I think it was that first time.
Yeah, and I think that it gave her the ick.
I think she had the ick the second time we cried.
Yeah.
I think the first time we cried was after he said he loved her. Mm. And the second time we cried was when he was crying about Ben.
Yeah.
And she was like, you don't have to, like, it's okay to care about your friend, but you don't have to, like, take it on, like, emotionally. Like, he's a grown man, he can deal with his own stuff. And he started throwing, like, shade the entire season. Like, he was like, oh, my husband wants to go out and fly kites? She's like, ain't me. That's my husband. In other words, he's saying, if he like it, I love it.
Yeah, that relationship was just destined to fail. I don't know how.
What grown man flies kites? Listen, I'm sorry. What grown black man?
Okay, look.
I'm not trying to put people in boxes here, but I've never seen an adult
6'5",
6 foot everything go outside like, you know what I want to do? I want to fly a kite and shoot the jump.
My man loving life. That's his dinosaur. We literally talked about Lindy and the dinosaur. Her dinosaur. If my man, all right, look. If it was Nate, all right, we're not even talking about.
If it was Nate, man, he can't escape those allegations. That's all I'm saying. If it's a Nate, I believe the allegations. He's like, actually, you were out there with the kites with me, flying kites with me. I don't know why you're acting different. Why are you acting different in front of all these fans?
I knew something was up. I knew something was up, bro. I knew something. And as we talk about Ben and all the guys rallying behind him, let's talk about Ben and Morgan. The last couple, and probably, I don't know, I don't want to say the most toxic. It's all fucked up.
It's messy.
But would I call it toxic?
Who do you feel bad for in that relationship?
Morgan. No, I'm just honestly,
I feel horrible for Ben. Yes. I feel like Ben went into this feel like he knew who he was, and he left a shell of his former self. He left very apologetic and very like unsure with what he was wanting, what he wanted, and who he was. He's like, I'm not ready for this. I'm ready for this, that, and the third. And realistically, I think he is ready for it. I think that he met somebody who had a stronger will and just couldn't forgive.
I never saw on live TV someone's soul just being ripped out of their body. Like, first episode, you see this strong, like you said, strong, confident dude, whatever, talking about him being cheap, blah, 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 laughing and
shit.
I'm
gonna get laid. He's like, if she with it, I'm with it.
I'm with it, she with it, I'm with it. Ended up just, bro, like, I never seen a character. Is it character assassination that the right? Just shattered.
Yeah.
You see it every week as you watch it, this man just getting broken. each day. And I was like, and you always wonder, if you ever see your boy, your girl that you saw them, you're like, damn, man, they were like my homie, road dog, like they got this personality, that, whatever, they awesome person. They find this person, either abusive, emotionally abusive or whatever, or just a strong personality, and you just see it wear on them. And you one day, let's say you even see them after like 6 months when they're dating. You see them next time, you're like, they're just a minor shell, like a small person compared to what they were. You saw that in real time. That was the craziest shit I ever seen in my life, bro.
Also, the best scene I've ever seen in Married at First Sight. They get together after, like, I think a week or two of not talking to each other. He's like plans this nice date where they got married, and he hands her flowers. He's like, "Hey, Morgan, I just want to give you these flowers." She said, "Okay, thanks." She just dropped them on the floor. Bro, that was so badass. I was never down for somebody so bad in my life. I was like, yo, she is the realest. Like, I feel like I need to win her over. Like, I understand where Ben was coming from. It was like, damn. It brought me back to my college me, where like, someone didn't like me, and I was like, I have to prove myself. Like, I felt like I was better in that scenario. I was like, I have to prove myself to win her over. And I felt like everything he was trying to do didn't work, and it just made him. And when she had called it quits, I think it broke him.
Yeah, I think it broke him because I think he weighed that as the success of the marriage or the success of this experiment heavily on him. Like, if this failed, that means I failed.
Yeah, he said that. He was like, I failed as an Asian because I wasn't a doctor. Like, that's what that's what my parents wanted, and I didn't do that. And then I get married, and I fail at that too. So, like, I'm not good enough. And he was kind of beating that drum over and over. And I think it was, like, kind of talked about lightly, but he's not well.
No, he's not well. I think this experiment, exasperated the situation and the issues that he had. And shit, I don't know if my man ever trust a woman again with his feelings.
I don't know. I can't see it.
Like, I can't see it.
The way that it ended, it was like, yeah, I need to work on myself. I need to keep working on myself. And prior to going into the experiment, he had done a whole bunch of work on himself to not compare himself to what his parents wanted him to be. And now it's like he's back at ground zero, like trying to get out of that view of being an Asian.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ben, because I'm going to go with Morgan before we wrap up, I think Ben has nowhere but up from here.
Yeah.
Like, anyone that has been, like, in dire straits, been through been through some shit and been broken, like, down to the bottom, and you're going to therapy, great, you're doing, like, self-help, you're healing yourself, whatever, it's nothing but up. Like, after like, anything that's destroyed needs to be built back up, right? So, from that, like, I see nothing but greatness coming from this man. Hopefully he'll be at the point where he can trust and love again, but we'll see. However, with Morgan,
she needs work.
She sees no fault in that at all.
Listen, I understand.
Game recognized game. Like, I remember being that.
It's so toxic. She's the most toxic person.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a toss-up to her and Justin, in my opinion.
Yes.
But she is so fucking toxic. Like, somebody breaks your trust or, like, hurts you. But that's basically all he did. She told him something, not in confidence, just something in general. Right. He was like, oh, I don't believe this. And he went to talk to his friend about it, just to vet. And she's like, you betrayed my trust. I told you not to. Well, maybe he did. Maybe she did tell him not to say something.
Right.
You betrayed my trust. I can't trust you. We're going to have to work on this. I don't know. Like, I want you to apologize in a specific way. And I want you to feel it. I want you to feel the hurt. I want to hear the hurt in your apology. For me
so
to take you back.
Bro.
And, like, he apologized so many times, but she was like, I don't think he meant it. I don't care how many times he said it. He's not hurting. He's not crying when he said it to me. Therefore, it's not real.
Bruh.
So if he had a little bit of tree in him, he had a little bit of Justin in him, maybe, just maybe, they would have been successful. Or maybe, Justin didn't put him on speakerphone.
All right.
And Alexis ain't snitch.
Bro, there were so many mistakes in that situation. First, you trust your man, your sit to the crybaby, right? That's what I'm telling his wife and everything. Then my man Justin put it on speaker, and Alexis snitched. But I think Alexis like the drama. That's why she was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna tell this." She didn't know, and then it blew up in my man's face. Look, all in all, everyone's talking. I think Ben was trying to apologize. So he can finally get that nut. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think about this episode? What do y'all think about the couples? We would love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments below. Please let us know who you would rank as the worst the worst couple in this season of 98 Fiancé. Where can they send this information? Where can they send these comments or let us know what they think?
Yeah, if you want to listen to think about Married at First Sight, you can find us at Unassisted Counseling Podcast on Facebook. You can find us at Unassisted Counseling on Instagram and YouTube. And you can shoot us an email at youadvicepodcast@gmail.com.
All right, guys. And as always, we love you guys. We're here for you guys. Oh, shit. I'm already fucked up. One drink at a time?
Hey.
One episode at a time. Be easy, yo.
Latest. KO punching out.